Welcome, one and all, to No
Brr, brr,
Tech Talk.
brr.
To No Tech Talk. This is our second Zoom call. Thanks for sticking with us. During this pandemic, we're working through it. Like I said last week, the show must go on. Listeners, family, friends, and people I don't know, I have a treat for you. We have my boy. We got my boy.
My boy. You crazy.
We have a treat for real. Let me first give the introduction. Like I said, welcome to No Tech Talk. This is a safe place. We're not trying to be politically correct. We're not trying to be rude either. But the only rule here in No Tech Talk is to have no tact. Okay? We have a special subject today, finances, man. We
Let's
got
talk about that money, honey.
finances today. Not only am I giving you no tact, talk, conversation, but I'm giving you news you can use in a time where you can use it. Okay? This is crazy out here. And I have actually a professional. He is my friend, my brother. My brother, right? But
Yeah.
he's also a professional. All my friends, entrepreneurs, professionals. I'm a blessed man, right? I'm just the one that could run his mouth. That's how they benefit from me. But no, I have a professional here, and I'm gonna put his old rap sheet out there. We got Jarvis Leonard. Boom, boom, boom.
Hey.
He's a native of Alabama, currently residing in the Atlanta metro area, and is an advocate for financial literacy. He works in the financial service industry and champions his cause through his company, Leonard Holistic Financial Planning. Okay. LLC. My bad. Let me say that again. Leonard Holistic Financial Planning, LLC. He's been in the financial industry going on 8 years. His goal is to empower his clients through financial education that produces wise stewardship and ultimately creates generational wealth and legacy. Whew.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Abraham,
Welcome,
Isaac,
bro.
and Jacob. Let's go.
Welcome, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just want to say I'm proud of your podcast, bro. Like you're doing the thing. This
Man,
is
I'm
dope.
trying. I'm trying, bro. Like it's like I tell everybody else. I'm not sure if you heard all of them, but this is therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
This is me. It's me time.
Yeah.
It may seem like work, but this ain't a job. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I would be remiss if I could not have my personal banker on to spread some of this knowledge, man. It's important. You have a very desirable skill, talent. What's another word? Just people need this, right? Because it's their
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. I
So,
haven't been a banker for almost 3 years. You still call me your
well, that's
banker.
how
That's
you
funny.
started, man. So I'm saying
That is how I
you've
started.
been in so many financial lanes. Yeah, work here, work there, did this
That is how
money.
I started.
Probably worked with the police and the mob one time. Who knows?
No,
You got a
we
long
don't do
track
dirty
record. You
money. We
never
don't do
know.
dirty money.
Money is, I'm just money is money. No tech. I'm just.
Yeah, right.
um. So how's everything been going before we get into the nit grit? Like how you've been coping with this whole thing? Staying at home,
Everything
staying
is
safe.
everything's virtual. You see, I have my piece here.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I'm doing business. Is all virtual meetings and reaching out to clients over the phone and
Mm-hmm.
uh, Zoom meetings, and that's basically it. But it's still moving. People want advice during this time, and business owners need to know how
Yeah.
they can cut down expenses. It's still ebbs and flows. It's just in different
Ain't nothing
ways.
changed for you, huh?
Nah, I'm still
And
hustling.
that's good. And I find it so
Yeah,
interesting. The different businesses that can still just kind of go in. Like I tell people all the time, podcasting is still here, dog. You
yeah.
know,
It
you just
might
got to make.
increase because you got more people
Who
listening.
knows? Hey, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But how'd you even get into this, man? Like, what got you into finances? Because you growing up, and I thought about this too before we got on the call. You as a young man, a young person in general, you can go a lot of different ways.
Right.
And this is kind of a arena to where not many people think about until they need it,
Right.
much less trying to teach it,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
so when did you realize that, okay, I want to be in this financial space? Or, what prompted you?
Okay. So, like you said, I got my start in banking. So, I'm gonna take it all the way back to
Mm-hmm.
high school, where they had this program. So I grew up in a rural area, and we had what they call trade school.
Mm-hmm.
They I don't know. I feel old, but most I don't think they have that anymore. But it's where you can go and learn a trade. So the
Okay.
trade I wanted to learn was finance and accounting. And
Mm-hmm.
so actually started in seventh grade, starting with
Oh wow.
computer. What is it? Computer literacy, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was, where you just learn how to uh, um, type and all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. The basic business skills that
Okay.
you'll
Like a
need.
little business class. Yeah.
Right, there you go. So we had those starting in seventh grade, and then I was the inaugurating class. So I from seventh grade all the way up to 12th grade, I took a bit of like business classes from the same teacher,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Seals. Shout out to Miss Seals.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah. So Miss Seals taught us accounting, finance, financial literacy, through what was that?
Oregon Trail.
No, no, no. It starts with an E. I can't think of it. They still use that program in schools now to teach financial literacy to
Mm-hmm.
students. It's a great program. I have to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But got certified through that in high school,
Okay.
and then got was able to get like a extra like tassel or whatever for being I guess business certified, because I took all these
Mm-hmm.
business courses over the years. So I knew I wanted to go in business in college because I didn't do
Okay.
all of this for nothing. So finance at UAB was what I went into.
Dope.
But I've always been somebody who wanted to make some money. So while I was there, I was able to convince Miss Veronica Perry to
Okay.
hire me as a teller in the Western Hills Mall
Oh my
regions.
goodness.
So if you from Birmingham, okay, I'm just gonna say
And
that you
that's
from
how you
you
start
from
right there.
Birmingham,
You know about Western
okay,
Hills Mall.
okay, where you picking up bullet
To
shell and
give y'all an
uh,
idea, if you're not from Birmingham, Western Hills Mall is the gym of Birmingham where you
yeah,
can, you know, and I love my people, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
I
it
love
was
not. The
I love my people, good folks over there. I had a couple girlfriends over there, man, but you know, it's a little
old
rough.
ladies would feed me on the regular. You hear
Yeah.
me?
The
Hey, baby,
listen, candy
you need to
ladies, you go get to
you
get you a
need a
fish
little
plate.
you need a little meat on your bones. Let me
But
bring
it's
you a plate.
from the financial place though. It's a little rough, right? Coming up.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I'm glad you segued into that because look, you have to keep me on task because we brothers, so
I
we'll
have to
we'll go
work on it
straight into
myself, man.
we
You
we'll
know,
go
if
into
you even go
regular
to the
talk.
first episode, I'm so off the cuff already. I'm trying to stay focused, keep it
Right,
between.
right, right. We forget that we're recording for these people. But anyways, so as starting there in Western Hills, and you know that community, you know, it suffered. Like they
Hmm.
closed the Walmart down. I've never
Yeah.
seen a Walmart closed down, but the Walmart right there that was on technically in Fairfield.
Yep.
Western
I
Hills Mall
remember
is
that.
technically in Midfield because it's right there on the line
Hmm.
there. So a disparaging community, and so I just saw people who just didn't know a lot of the basics around financial literacy, like
Mm.
what a bank account even was, like that, like they're just underbanked as a community, right?
Okay.
So I started there as a teller. I ended up transferring and going part-time because schoolwork got a little more hectic, so I had to transfer, and I transferred to the Woodline branch in front, on Lakeshore.
Okay.
So matriculated there. From there, I was able to get into the operational side of banking and
Hmm.
learn it. So like balancing the branches accounts and making sure that the branch had enough cash flow. So I got promoted
Hmm.
to operations manager of a branch, and then went into um, more so I was able to refer people over to financial representatives, but I knew I had more to give.
Yeah.
So I eventually segued into the banker financial representative role,
Hmm.
where that's kind of where I flourished and kind of really got my feet wet. Um, I was able to kind of champion some refinancing initiatives in that community because I
Yeah.
ended up going back to Fairfield, that Fairfield Millfield area.
With some
And I
more
was
clout.
right with some more clout.
Yay, went back. Okay. Back then, now I'm back, y'all. What's up?
Right, right,
Yay.
right, right. So I came back, and then I was able to actually, a lot of people I was able to actually, through education, because they was having a hard time. They had people, elderly people with credit scores, in 8%, 7%, 6% interest rate mortgages,
Oh man, that's high,
which
right?
that's very high for a mortgage because it's a
Yeah,
collateral loan, right?
for sure.
We'll dig into
Yeah,
that
yeah.
later. Yeah, but yeah, but so I was able through education, like they just needed to be educated. So like I took the time to sit down and like if you know me, like elderly, I'm old. I'm an old soul.
Oh, so
So
for sure.
I can talk to grandma. Grandma is my sweet
All
spot.
right,
You know
me
what I
mom,
mean?
let's go. Right.
Right, right. So I was able to kind of just educate them on the savings that they were missing out on by not refinancing, and not just being stuck in what they know,
Yeah.
but being able to push them to, think about, and they were able to put their trust in me, and so we were able to save a whole lot of elderly couples
Probably
and
lives.
women a lot of money. They were able to pay off their
Yeah.
homes sooner, get that deed free and clear, and use that property for leverage for other things that they might want to do for them or
Mm,
their kids or their grandkids or this, that, and the third. So I knew from there, okay, I'm helping people get out of things. Like I'm helping people consolidate their debt, organize their spending plan. I'm helping people on the reactive side, right?
mm-hmm.
So like I'm coming in to save the day. But what if I was able to educate them on the front end and maybe
Mm.
prevent them from getting to this point, in addition to help them thrive and become even better,
So
right?
not only obviously, you trying to rank up in the business for the money and the prestige and because you've been there for so long, but it was a kind of a call to action to you
Exactly.
to to be a better person. So that says a lot about you as well. I'm not sure if I would have did that. For me, like you said about the money, I don't really care. If you don't know, it just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I got my friend, and
Yeah.
I'll talk about me in a second, how you helped me out tremendously. Probably brought my credit score up like 150 points, you know? And but what's good about it
Mm,
and what's hard for me for sure is getting in business with somebody, I guess financially. Cause for one, obviously it's my money.
right.
But for two, you have to know that they genuinely care about you because it's like, hey, that's probably one of the most sensitive subjects ever. Top three at
Right.
least. My
It's
money.
emotional. Like it's emotional. Like
How are
people
you able to relate to people when you talking about their money? Like what do you feel like you have rather than if I was to do everything you did and be in the same space? What's the difference about Jarvis?
I'm kind of I'll say, I guess I'm kind of empathic, where like I said, like money is emotional.
Okay.
And so I can kind of, I don't know, it's weird. Like I can kind of sense people's emotions, and I know kind of like in the midst of a
They
conversation.
call that discernment. In
Come on.
Jesus' name. Okay.
Right, but I'm kind of have discernment specifically on like people's emotions. So like as I'm conversing with someone, I
Yeah.
can kind of gauge, when we're speaking of about a certain subject. Okay, that's a tender spot for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like we need to talk about this, but we need to talk about this in a more tender
Tactful.
manner, because tactful and tender.
That's
Right,
why
we
I
might
couldn't do
we
it.
might need some tact that day.
Right.
We might need a little tact that
That's
day.
why I couldn't do it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But no, you good, you good. No, but like in a more tender manner,
Yeah.
because with this particular subject, this is a sensitive spot for them, because they don't feel adequate, especially us as black men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we like my black male clients, sometimes they feel like they have to have it all together, because that's kind of what society puts onto us.
Mm-hmm.
And so and so you kind of are bearing yourself a little bit and being vulnerable when you're sitting down with a financial planner,
Okay.
because my job is to find all of the places where your financial plan is lacking, right? and build
Mm.
and build those places up, right?
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
that can be scary for somebody who, especially our type A personalities, and very controlling people, that they just know that they've done everything that they think that they were supposed to do. But if you don't know, then you don't know, and if you're not educated, you can't make wiser decisions. You can't steward your resources effectively, and you can't meet these goals the way that you want to
Mm-hmm.
meet them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're moving up the ladder, and when did I'm gonna have my own business? kind of spark in your brain? The entrepreneurial bone, the grind,
Yeah.
right? Starting a business. When did the grind approach you, or did it come in a dream? Did it
Not a
hit you?
dream.
Did a random kite hit you in the park one day? You just holistic came up, or what happened, man? I don't even think we ever talked about how it even sparked up.
No, we didn't. This is good. Good. Okay. Kill two birds with one stone.
Right.
No, but but no. So what I ended up doing was at the time of being a banker, I'm moving up. I got put on um I was the only non-branch manager on a Regions at Work initiative. I worked at Regions Bank,
Okay.
Regions at Work initiative. So I was working with different business owners, and I started to help business owners. So I knew I had a passion for helping businesses grow and help people educate themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
I started to around finances. So I started to shadow our financial advisor. So a licensed financial advisor. So this is someone who has their Series 7 and Series 66, or they have their Series 7, their Series 63 and 65. So
Okay.
these are FINRA
What
certifications.
is that?
Oh,
In a
financial.
nutshell, for the people at home and
Yeah, yeah.
me
So
as well.
that's the regulatory agency that regulates people that can do investments on someone's behalf.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Give investment advice, right?
Okay. Cool.
Because it's not enough just to save people money, but you need to know how to grow their money as well, right?
Mm,
Because compound interest is real. Okay, and you can do a lot over a span of time with compound interest, right?
okay.
Especially in the market. That's even biblical. I can show you the scripture.
Yeah.
no, no, just say it like in our community is just dealing with the market. What I have found in the 8 years that I
Uh-huh.
have been in the financial industry, dealing with the market is a sensitive subject for us because we don't know a lot about it, so therefore we shy away from it altogether.
It's funny you bring that up. I had to mention this too, and I didn't even have to write it down because it always pops up in my head. Okay, so financial literacy in the Black community,
Hmm.
right? We always talk about and hear about generational wealth, health,
Hmm.
um, how our white counterparts, okay, love y'all, but it is what it is. Well, let's just say Grandpa Soap, right?
They got a
Grew up
400. They have a 400-year
advantage.
head start. They got a
Right.
400
Now,
year head
me and
start.
you can have this conversation, but how real do you think that is? Not that I'm saying it's not. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Because some people would be like, I've even
Super
heard
real.
Black people say this. Well, no, if you just work hard and do the American dream, you can have all this too. Y'all just did it in third. So how do you
You can, but
I'm
you're gonna
taking
have to
I'm
work
taking it to the
10.
roots of finances, and as far as especially a Black male that we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Not to get too deep into slavery because I don't want to beat a dead horse, but how do you feel about that? And do you feel like what's the word? Do you feel obligated to the Black community now that you're in this space to help, or do you give that nod? Hey, bro, come on, man. Let me just because you did it with me, right? We cool, right? But do you feel like it's like a chip on your shoulder to where you owe it to the next Black man or the next Black family to give them like a step up? So like
Yeah.
I'm not saying your service is gonna differ between Black and white folks. I'm
Right.
just
Right.
saying
Right.
like on a personal basis, like
Do I have a passion for specifically
yeah,
my community? And definitely, I'm like first, like first and foremost, I'm a child of God. Secondly,
mm-hmm,
I'm a Black man, right?
right,
So, and I took some African American Studies class at UAB, and
kind of open your eyes on that too, huh?
man, it's like
Yeah.
I like shout out to Professor Morgan at UAB,
Hey,
Miss Kathy Morgan, Bria's mama. She was my
okay,
professor. Yeah.
bet.
So like like just you like super woke.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little too woke at one point.
You need to go through them stages, man. You
You
got
do.
to.
You do. But
That's my thing. Is like, okay, me and you could talk. You can be woke. We can start our own podcast about Black Power or whatever else. But there's a certain amount of professionalism that I feel like you have to have in your business to where okay, you do one thing too, quote unquote, black, right? Or for somebody, then you're just named as that guy. Oh, you must be that black investment guy or whatever.
Right, right, right,
So
right,
it's a
right.
fine line you have to walk, right?
That's true, because so
Or you don't care, right?
it's so multifaceted. It's so multifaceted
Break it down for me.
because okay, so on the financial advisor side, we only make up 1 to 2% of all financial advisors in the
Black
United
folks.
States, of America. Black folks, yeah.
Dang.
And for black women it's even less, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. So if you want to talk to somebody about financial planning, you're hard pressed to find somebody that you
To
can
look
trust.
like you.
One,
Yeah.
that you can trust. One, and then two, someone that looks like you. So
Mm-hmm.
like immediately we're discouraged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two, I am going to take it back to slavery for like 2 seconds.
Go for it.
we we as our white counterparts were, building wealth and creating generational wealth and passing down wealth and letting compound interest and inflation build their wealth
I mean, you talking
and
about
all this,
passing
that, and the
out damn
third.
pigs and land and
Right,
houses. And we
right,
all we could pass down was our clothes and knowledge pretty much. If you know how to
right.
read, you was the golden boy in the family, right?
Yeah, but you can't get no equity out of reading.
No, nothing.
I
Yeah.
mean, you can,
I'm just saying that was the
you
most
can
thing you
out of
could in certain
educationally,
situations and then
right? But
start to slowly build from there.
there's no physical property. There are no assets that have
Yep.
been passed down because we were assets ourselves.
Yeah.
We were being passed down 400 years, and then you had Jim Crow redlining. Redlining is where they made it difficult for African Americans to get mortgages and home
Yep.
loans and home ownership. And we all know that home ownership is one of the first steps into creating generational wealth, so that you can pass that down to
Right.
your kids or whatever. If mom and dad pays off the property, then that goes into the family estate, and
And you
then
keep
boom,
that house. Don't sell it.
you keep the house, you make it a rental property, or either you develop the land and do something. Land is gold.
Yeah.
Land is rich. Don't people in monopoly, the person who owns who owns
The land
the
owns it
land
all.
owns it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's real. So um in addition to, as we came out of that and we started creating businesses and creating generational wealth, it was bombs. Like, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you heard of Black Wall Street, where it was a fire and they burnt it all down. That was not the
Yeah.
only one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That was not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
There was one in Rosewood, Florida. Like, there were several pockets where there were black communities that had created their own economical structure, and
Mm.
it was raided. It was burnt down.
Just haters. Just some haters.
You know,
They can't let us be great.
I mean, it was the times, and it was super wrong, but like that's how
Did you
America was
did
at
you
that
see that
time.
movie, The Banker? Have you heard about that? The one with
Mhm.
the dude that say Samuel Jackson and the other guy who's the new Captain America, the Black Captain America.
I haven't seen it.
It's on. I don't know if you have Apple TV Plus, but that's a plug for
I
them,
do.
bro. It's called The Banker, and pretty much I think it's like 1950 something. But him and this other black investor,
Oh, I'm already gonna watch that.
yeah,
That's
it's dope. It's right down your alley.
okay.
So basically, they hired this white guy to be the face of the
Mhm.
company because whenever
Mhm.
they try to go buy businesses or something, they would see their face and it'd be a whole thing, all racial and stuff. But the white guy, and it's I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Let me not spoil it for you. But pretty much they owned, so what they would do is to go buy houses, businesses that were doing really well. But where it started to mess up, they went to buy a bank, and that's where like they won't move from like residential to commercial, then to like actual a bank, so they can actually give loans out to other
Mhm.
black families. And these would be like
Right.
doctors, you know what I'm saying? Like these
Right.
were credible loans, whatever. In that time, like some people that they can like agree with.
The crazy
And
thing is, my father-in-law um and his dad started a credit union to do that very thing in Gaston, Alabama.
there you go. And it's pioneers, man. Like I think really think there was pioneers. Just imagine if nobody had the idea on the financial sec, because we just talking about okay, cool. You go from freedom, all right, to owning things, all right, having my family. But somewhere along the line, they said, hey, like my people need to know about finances. This is important. And
Right.
because people are so focused on the right now, I want my money right now. I don't want to save. I don't want to do a CD or,
Instant gratification.
yeah, they want to do all this stuff. And so, man, your job is so invaluable. It's beautiful. Let me applaud you again. Another question I wanted to ask you was about. Let me make sure I'm going according to your schedule. Let me go on here. A spending plan.
Yeah.
Okay, how is that? Why is that so important on how you spend and things like that? We're trying to drop these gems for y'all, man. We got the
Y-
professional here.
Yeah. So let's talk about your time. So at your job, if you're clocking in and clocking out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're on a schedule, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let's talk about time management. If you don't put like, okay, at this time I have this meeting, at this time I have this meeting, at this time I have this meeting, time gets away from you because there is no scheduling around that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means things don't get accomplished as effectively because there's no efficient plan around your time in that day, right?
Yep.
You're in school. Like when you study, you have to have pockets in which you study so that you can
Right.
be efficient. And your wife, who's about to be a doctor,
Yeah.
boom,
Bow.
shameless plug, cousin. Uh, like I know she has to like have
Oh
her
yeah.
time. Like it's crazy. I know it is.
We have arguments about that time.
Yeah, because
It's
she
crazy.
she has a goal in mind,
She
so
does. I
so
gotta
she
calm down. I'm
she's
sorry.
breaking that time down. Your mind is the same way,
Okay.
right? If there is no plan around every dollar, every penny, then it goes to the wayside.
Every
Like
dollar, every penny. I can't just round up. I'm
every
playing devil's
dollar,
advocate, right?
every dollar, every penny.
Okay.
All right, because pennies add up, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like you just it depends on how efficient you want to be. You know what I mean? So like I'm not saying like I know that people hear plan, they hear no fun.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just plan your fun. Okay, so so I'm gonna spend these $200 and we're gonna
Right.
go here. Okay, you want them new Jordans? Okay, let's put it in the spending plan and in the budget. Okay,
But you
so you
also
might
know
not
you got to make a sacrifice.
right.
You want
Okay, so
them
I'm not gonna be able to eat out that much
instead
this
of
month.
steak, it's ramen noodles, but I
You
got
know
them
what I'm
J's
saying?
though.
Right, got them J's though. Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's the essence around the spending plan. And I wanted to show some resources. Our small group at our church are doing what we call it's called Crown Financial.
Okay. Make sure I put that in the description as well, because I'm gonna put the recording for the podcast. It's gonna go on YouTube.
Okay, cool. So it's
Yep.
called Do Well by Crown Biblical Financial Study.
Okay.
Um, I know a lot of people are like, "Ooh, Dave Ramsey," and Dave Ramsey cool. I just don't think that it's his principles are the whole view. He has some
Mm-hmm.
great principles, and he helps a lot of people, but
Very
I-
general, right?
right, it's not a holistic view.
Okay.
Uh,
Ooh, slight plug. Hey, holy.
right.
They probably already
So
forgot.
right, Holistic Financial Planning LLC.
LLC.
Leonard Holistic Financial Planning LLC. Yeah, LHFP for short. But yeah,
Ooh. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. So when it comes to financial planning, this is a great tool for just financial education.
Okay.
It gives you a great view, especially as Christians. Um, um, I know my first plug was ownership for me. And yes, I serve Christians and non-Christians. You know,
Oh, we about to get into that real soon.
I,
Go ahead.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't discriminate, but for me, I don't own anything that I have. I'm just stewarding over what God has blessed me with, right?
Amen. Right.
So so I don't want him to be like, bruh, you suck at stewarding my stuff, so I can't really give you no nothing more. No matter, you know, like your works are gonna be futile
You
because
better quit preaching.
bruh, because like you can't be faithful with this little bit that I got right here for you.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate, because I have to be a voice for the people as well. And this is the same thoughts that I have, or had rather. Tithing.
Okay.
Okay. I've had, man, I think I even talked about it a little bit on one of the other podcasts, but I've even had people hit me up multiple times in my inbox, man. Like, you talk about tithing, this and the third. I'll work at McDonald's, or like, I ain't got all that money. So I mean, I know this is a whole like sermon in itself.
Right.
So how do you implement tithing? Well, how have you implemented tithing into your
Um,
financial plan if you want to
so
do
one,
that?
God is awesome. He makes tithing not an amount but a percentage.
Okay.
So it's scaled to wherever you are on the income spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, right? And so for me, in my ideology, none of it really belongs to me in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he's just letting me steward over 90. He's just like, bruh, let me just get 10 off of that so that I can feed the homeless, or so that
Okay.
I can I don't know, build a church in East Zimbabwe, so that
Right.
they can know about me. Like if he just need 10%, or so I can keep the lights on at my local church.
Yep.
Uh, you know, if
Man, it's such a
he
deep topic. I know everybody like, bro, but I don't trust Pastor J. He got a Rolls Royce at the parking lot. I want to hit on that so bad. I
okay,
know
well
we've been here
that's
all
a
day.
whole nother
I know.
issue.
I know. I just had to say it, let
Right?
everybody
I'm
know
gonna
that
say
we
that's a
can't go
whole
that
nother
far.
issue. That's a whole nother issue.
I'll
You
sum
know
it
what I
up like
mean?
this. And I tell everybody, I even told my homeboy the other day. And this is just, you ain't got to believe in God, right? I keep it really simple. I think you have to do this because a lot of spiritual topics just go so deep. All I
Right.
know is when I started making a decent amount of money, and I
Hmm.
grew up, whatever, right? All I know is, hey, if I got $1,000, if I didn't
Hmm.
pay that 100, that
Hmm.
900 was gone. That $1,000 was gone in like a week and a half. When
Yeah.
I did pay that 100,
He
I mean,
bless it.
it was
It
blessed.
stretch. Yeah,
and
he stretch
and
it.
that's the basic way. That's the most basic way I can put it is God will bless your sacrifice. That's what it is.
Right.
Don't worry
And Malachi,
about, huh? Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, I ain't trying to get too biblical on them
No, we
folks, but
almost done. I promise.
no,
With this part.
I'm just saying that Malachi, it says if you don't pay your tithes, it's like putting money in your pockets with holes in it, and
Yep.
it's just gonna fall out.
Yep.
So I need all my coinage, or
And I
all of
just
his
tell
coinage
people,
that I get to
man.
have. So
I just tell people
so
to try God. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
yeah,
Is just try it. You may not have tried it before. Give God an opportunity to prove you wrong.
right,
Tithe you 10% and watch him change your life. All right,
right.
I'm
And,
done.
I would say start with where your faith is.
Yeah.
If you like, yo, God, I don't know if I got faith
Nah,
to put
I
that
got
10 in. I got
5%.
5%
Yeah.
right now. Okay, start with your 5.
Hmm.
Okay, start with your 5. But I would admonish everybody, like push towards that push towards that 10%,
I'm telling you, man.
because
I've missed times. I missed it before. Like one time I forgot to pay tithes, and I'm
I'm
talking about stuff just started. Car need to be fixed. Lights
trying to
went
tell you,
out. Just random just stuff. Like, and I'm like, and the first thing I thought, did I pay tithes? Bro, and it was like,
right?
and I'm almost scared not to do it now because I noticed the increase, and I definitely know like God be like, all right now, you had to get a new
Yeah,
tire. All right now, if you got to do something. Okay, so
yeah.
in the plan, what type of mindset, and this is me, people, right? What type of
Hmm.
mindset do I need to have when I'm undertaking like a new financial lifestyle, right?
What
My
do you
stuff
mean?
is everywhere. Like if I come into you, right? Like I
Hmm.
came to you even before. What type of mindset do I need to have? Like you said, obviously how serious are you? How much do you want to save? This, that, and the third. What do you think is important in trying to start a new financial journey? So I'm just frivolously spending my money, making ends meet, pay it when I pay it, nothing structured. How do I start? What's a good starting place?
Yeah, so I center all of my meetings around my clients' goals. So what I do first
Okay.
is I sit down with them and have a detailed conversation with them. I'm gonna get to know you really well. We're
Okay.
gonna be because I'm dealing with, like, I'm gonna be dealing with you for a lifetime. I'm helping you save for
Yeah.
you, your kids, kids. Like we in a relationship, even and you don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So uh, we're gonna have a detailed conversation where I can really understand who you are. What are your goals? I think a standard goal across the board is to have a certain amount of savings for emergencies, right?
Okay.
So an emergency is not like, oh, dang. Uh, I need the new Mac because it got like
That's acting
extra
fake.
memory.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's not an emergency. So emergency is what's happening right now, the coronavirus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people who are being furloughed, people who are having to file for unemployment, people who are contractors and they can't get work right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, all of those people who have set up some type of 3 to 6 months right now, like right now, 6 months saving stash would be very helpful to
Mm.
people who don't have income because that's kind of how long it's going to take before some of this stuff can kind of
Yeah,
we can get our new normal, right?
for sure.
You can insulate yourself with savings, right? Whereas, things in life, I'm a, okay, I like scripture because
Say it, bro.
me and my guy cool.
No
So
tag.
like, right, in the Bible it says, in this world you will have trouble, but be of good cheer because I've overcome the world.
Yeah.
All right. So he gave you a heads up, like, bruh, stuff gonna go down, right? Things are
Yeah.
gonna happen. But if we have a way to insulate ourselves, um, um, to kind of give us a shock when we have those blows,
For sure.
then that's really what that savings is for, right? So that as you're building things, you're not having to liquidate assets just to survive.
So you gotta bite the bullet and have some discipline,
That part.
right? You
That
gotta
part.
just do it. It don't matter how much money you making or how less you making. You can always save.
Right.
Is right?
Right. Right. My thing is pay God, then pay myself, and then I pay my bills,
Yeah.
and and then I go out to eat, and then I do other things. But pay God, pay myself, and then everything else.
So out of the percentage, guys 10%. What's myself? My 10%. What do you
Right.
recommend?
Your 10% or whatever your savings goal is. So like right now, my wife and I are on a savings goal journey to get our savings up. So because starting a business ain't cheap. Praise the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we're trying to get our savings back up. So we are on an aggressive spending plan where we have an amount coming out of each check. Every time she
Okay.
gets paid,
So you don't even
an
think
amount
about it.
I don't even see it. An amount, I just see that savings grow. An amount automatically goes to that savings account. And then
Okay.
what I like to do is I like to round up. Like we got a little extra cheddar here and there. I might get a bonus or
Mm-hmm.
things things of that nature. Or, something might come in for me because I am a contractor worker. Um, I like to put a little extra in
Mm-hmm.
my savings because for me I like to see that grow. Right.
Okay. So it's indirectly you kind of like tricking yourself for the right reasons, right? So it's like setting up that I take 10% of my check this month, McDonald's or wherever I work, business, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's putting those what's the thing? Putting those things in place so that way you ain't gotta stress or worry about discipline or things like that. That's a good
Correct.
plug.
Yeah.
Okay. What about debt? I'm a listener right now, no
Um,
tech talk. I'm in crazy debt. What do I do, Jarvis? First thing.
so first thing, let's think about debt. Let's talk about ideology around debt because as an American society, we've been conditioned that like debt is a necessity and it's not, right?
What you
We've
mean
been
by that?
conditioned like we've been conditioned via credit card ads
Okay.
or or
Well, everybody
or
got debt. It's okay. Right.
right, right. Everybody got debt.
Right,
It's
right, right,
okay.
right.
Student loans, like that, we're telling kids to take loans out to go to school instead of maybe finding because I didn't even know these existed. Maybe find a work. They literally have work study programs or tuition reimbursements programs.
Mm-hmm.
Apple has one.
Yeah,
There's certain
sure do.
job there's certain jobs. Regions have one as well. There's certain jobs that will pay you to go to school a if you're getting a
Financial
degree.
degree or
Wait,
whatever.
right. If you're getting a degree in that realm, I think Apple it doesn't matter what degree you're getting.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. So it's just our and I say our because that includes me because I've had to restructure my thinking. Like debt is not a necessity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay, well, how can I build credit if I don't have any debt? we'll get to that too. But because
Okay.
you need to know how, well, you need to know how credit works. But I just want to attack that first. I want to attack the ideology around debt being a necessity. It's not a necessity. At
Okay.
like an ideal thing for me would be, had I known what I know now, that I would have not gotten into any debt outside of maybe a mortgage, right?
Mm-hmm.
To purchase a home, and then at that point I would want to put down a crazy down payment to where, and then accelerate my payments so that I can knock that out as soon as I can.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like the what's the saying, cash is king.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. The one who owns the most assets outright has the most leverage.
Okay. The most
Okay, and there's
liquidity, they say. Yeah. I know
right.
some a little
So
bit.
right, you're right. So you don't want to be stretched too thin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to that, if you're in crazy debt, I would say use the snowball method, right?
Okay.
That's another thing that's taught in this book. Also, oh, this book is dope too. Boom.
The worst financial mistakes in the Bible and how you can avoid them. Written by Chuck Bentley.
Yes, I'm trying to tell you,
Bet.
like,
Giving the books and everything. Okay.
I'm trying to tell you, like, it's
But you constantly educating yourself, which
I get
boom.
yeah,
Still.
I constantly am looking up different resources for me. Correct.
Uh-huh.
Me and my wife, because I'm not at the mountaintop. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know what the mountaintop looks like now, so I know what I'm shooting for,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I'm just,
That's
let's
something to
be
say
clear, I'm
as
not there yet.
well. It's just it don't matter who it is, Dave Ramsey, Chuck, whoever. Pick up a book, right?
Right,
Go learn something, and
right.
because everybody always post on Facebook, oh, I'm about to buy a house at like I was seeing people go on Facebook for financial advice, and
Hmm.
maybe you got that one friend that happened to be a Jarvis or something, but what like
Yeah,
I don't I think for me and this is early me including myself, people just lazy and they don't want to do the necessary, they want the money,
and
right,
like
but they don't want to
I
do the
found
work
that.
to get out that debt
I
or to be great
Yeah, because we're just not disciplined, and I won't even say as a community as African Americans. I'm just saying
in
period
general.
across the board. Like, as Americans, we're just not a very disciplined society. We really admonish immediate self gratification, like immediate
That's what I
gratification.
think the difference
We don't
is. You might go over like somebody's house. Oh, you got it made. You got this in the third. The only difference between you and that rich person is discipline and self control, in my opinion.
right, and then in addition to, we don't really know if they rich because we don't know if they own this stuff.
Did you see
Does the
Tiger King? Did you see?
I did see Tiger King.
Oh, but it didn't even own the Lamborghini, bro. It wasn't even
He did
his.
not. It was not.
At a whole,
He was
renting
leasing
the
it.
mansion, but he tried to put on
Yes.
the front.
Yes. Yeah. People can front. Like, some people can afford to front. They might not can afford their lifestyle. They
Oh,
can afford to front. And
yo, that's good.
sometimes they can't afford to front, but they just holding on for their life. Let's
That's a book. That's
let's
a
not
book
do that.
title. You heard it here first. Can you afford to front?
Can you afford to front? Can you? Let's not.
Ooh, okay. So, and we're gonna get into the credit real soon. Two questions. Well, I just asked one question.
Okay.
How many credit cards is too much? Because I've heard a lot of different things. You need one, at least one department store card. You need, one of these. You gotta have this one. And we're not gonna get into all the benefit. We could, but so how many credit cards do you think is like what's essential, like the bare minimum? I need a this and this, or just this to this, or what?
Um,
Because
I would
they do
say
serve their purpose responsibly. So I mean, I think you broke out, bro. We're having some technical difficulties, everybody. We'll be right back. And we're back with no tech talk. We're having technical difficulties. We'll be right back. All right, go ahead.
Corona can't keep us down.
Right.
No, but you were asking me what amount of
Yeah,
credit
what's the
cards that I
essential,
think.
like, I guess, credit or type of credit cards do you think that you need or need to have?
I would say two.
Okay.
I would say two. I would say, and it depends on. I would say you need one bank card just for the banking relationship that you have with that bank,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe one additional card for emergencies or whatever,
And this is
what
something that
have
I'm a
you.
little versed in because you prompted this in me as well as the different types of credit cards
Right,
that you can have for your goals. So
right.
ours is travel for sure. I think we got like the I don't know the Amex Platinum or something, but uh,
Come on,
it's
Amex.
well, I mean, bro, I put everything on that card. Between me and her, we put everything. You know,
Right,
we just got a Mac, but about 2 months ago, about $2,000. Boom, put it on there. Put it on there. I want them points. I'm trying to go to Cabo,
right.
France, right? And because that's our thing. They also have credit cards for
But what do you do when
food.
you get that bill though?
Up and instantly pay it off. I try to
Boom.
pay it early. They called me one time like, "You know how to pay this, Mr. Coates?" Yes, I do. Leave me alone. Because Capital One lets you pay it anytime. American Express, they want you to let it accrue, and you could
We
put.
tapping into credit for a minute. I want to go back to debt for like one
Okay, I'm
second.
sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you good. But no, I'm gonna go back to debt for one second. So, for that person, because I didn't get to explain the debt snowball.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So the
you're right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
debt snowball would be if you're in like a massive amount of debt. The debt snowball is, if it is, so it's two situations. So if you are still have active open credit lines,
Mm-hmm.
go through each credit line and see which one has the highest interest rate and which one has the lowest interest rate.
Okay.
Okay. You want to start paying the one that has the highest interest rate the most aggressively, and then pay the minimum amount on the other ones. All right.
Okay.
Okay, because we know interest compounds, and on debt interest compounds not in your favor, whereas in
Mm-hmm.
investments and certain savings accounts interest compounds in your favor. Okay,
Okay.
so we want to beat down, the interest that's not compounded in your favor. So you want to start with the one that has the highest interest rate, and and knock that one out. Put most of your efforts towards that one. Then once that one's paid off, you go to the one that has the next highest interest rate, and then the payment that you paid on that one and the minimum you've been paying on that one, you add those together, and then you
Mm-hmm.
put that towards that one. And that's why they call it the snowball, because before long, the one that has the lowest interest rate, the payment on that one will be, very high,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll be putting, if you've knocked out all the other ones, you'll be
Putting
putting
all that
all
money
of that
towards it.
money
Yeah.
towards that one, right?
Yeah.
Now the other option is, now if some of your credit lines have closed, so there's interest is not being occurred on them any longer, right? So there's no more interest on being racked up on these, because these accounts are closed and they just want you to pay them back, right?
Okay.
You want to go to the one, um, that has I'm sorry, the one that has the lowest amount. So you attack the one that has the lowest amount. All right.
Okay. First.
On strategy A, the one that has the highest interest rate.
Mm.
Strategy B, the one that is the lowest amount.
Which one would you
Okay.
do?
Well, it just depends. It depends. So if I
What
have
does it depend on upon their finances or
no, it depends
the
on
income?
no, it depends on it depends
Which one
on
outweighs the
what
other?
type of no what type of debt they have.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if they have debt that, the credit lines that are still open,
Uh-huh.
they're still going to be being charged interest. So I would do the interest, strategy A on that one,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I want to make sure that I'm saving as much money and not being charged as, so much interest.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then if like these accounts have been closed because for whatever reason, the accounts have been closed, and so they're not charging interest on these accounts any longer. I just want to get these knocked out. What you want to do, or some of them might be in collections because that
Mm-hmm.
happens. Uh, you want to start paying the lowest amount first, and then snowball up, and then as you knock out you want to start paying the lowest amount first. Pay an amount on each one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pay an amount on each
But
one,
you're more aggressive on a
but
particular account.
you're more aggressive on the smallest one, and then
Okay.
as you pay that one off, then you add that payment into the next one, in addition to what you've been paying on it,
And
and then
but once you pay it
snowball up.
off, keep it paid, cut the thing up, whatever, right?
Well, we're getting into credit. I'm a
Well, it's this most debt. I'm just
well, yeah,
presuming is credit card debt.
Well, no, that's not
Well,
true. Because you have.
that's what I always hear about is credit card debt. Like,
Well, yeah, because that's what's most popular. That is what's most popular. But you have some people who have leveraged their properties. They've taken out
oh,
two or three
you
mortgages.
getting into the gangster stuff now, though.
They've taken out two or three mortgages on their properties, and they've leveraged all of the equity out of their property, and they need to get that down before they lose their house.
Okay,
Yeah.
dang, I
So
ain't know
it's
about
just
that. That's good.
yeah.
I don't
So
know
it's
about that.
right. Don't know about that.
So
But
it's oh, go ahead. Go keep going. I keep
no.
going on the credit cards for some reason.
Oh, because I mean it's a popular topic.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I would admonish people, don't make and then this is all I'm gonna say about debt. Don't make debt a necessity. Debt is not a necessity. Credit is a tool. Okay, and this
yeah.
is our segue into credit. Credit,
So
credit,
about so
credit
what
is a
about
tool. Use it as such.
these are for my female listeners, right? About department store credit cards. Are they evil?
I won't say that they're evil, but
They
think
have a
about
potential to be
this.
evil for sure.
They do, but
Is
think
it
about
worth getting that
this.
20% off of that shirt, banker?
In the long term, no, and I'm gonna tell you why. This is my ideology, and from all of the successful people that God has blessed me to be around, this is their ideology, and it works for them really well.
Okay.
They got stacks on stacks on stacks. I've seen their financial statements.
Whew.
um, um, when it comes to this department store cards, you have to think about, okay, am I going to shop in Forever 21 at 45? Because you won't be Forever 21.
You won't.
I'm just saying,
You won't.
right? And remember, credit is a tool.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because even
do
closing,
you
once
want
you
to
get
use?
it,
Do you
even closing it hurts you, right? So once you open it in the first place, you still gonna
right
get
because
hurt.
you right because you built up that credit history. So when you close it,
You just
it it,
dropped
it
three
hurts you.
years. Yeah.
Exactly. Look at you remembering
Bro,
the.
you better, hey, I
Hey,
learned
hey.
something, dog. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I forgot what I
exactly.
just paid off, man. And it hurt me. I forgot what it was because I just didn't have that history of debt or something. And I dropped like 5 points. It came back up, but it was just like, golly, it's amazing. Because this is the conversation that I was so excited about. Because I'm trying to ask all the questions that I feel like I did ask you in the beginning, and I feel like I guess kind of most people would want to know because they just don't care.
Right,
You know, like I told you before, I grew up. My dad told me not to ever get a credit card. Don't ever just pay cash. If you can't pay for it, just don't get it, right? But as we grow and learn, credit cards do have their purpose. So how do I use credit as a tool effectively? You know, I'm
right,
just trying to get into like having a credit card in general, or you know, how do I use it to boss up per
right.
se?
So you want to build credit so that you can um you can put yourself in certain situations so that you don't have to leverage all of your cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think about purchasing a home. If you have credit, then you can get a mortgage and not have to pay that $250,000 up front, or that $350,000 up
Yeah.
front. If you living in Atlanta, it's $350,000.
Come to Texas.
Bruh,
that's a two.
I'm trying to tell
That's a
you,
2 bedroom, 2 bath in Texas.
bruh. I was like, we were house hunting the other day, and I was like,
Ooh,
and we went in Fulton County. We live like on the outskirts of Fulton County.
yeah.
We went in Fulton County, and I was just like, that's all I get
Mm,
for that amount.
ain't
But
no
anyways,
good.
that's another story. That's another story. But um yeah, so credit allows you to be able to pay an amount over a longer period of time, so that your cash flow doesn't take a hit, or you can't afford it, or if you can't afford it, you just don't want to pay, drop that 250,000. You don't want to drop all of your life savings
Yeah.
on your house and not have no cushion.
Uh huh.
So it allows you to um, not it allows you to leverage your credit so that you don't have to use your assets or your other resources.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tool in that way. So when you're getting credit cards to buy clothes, which is a depreciating asset, when you're getting credit to buy outlandish cars when you don't really have a lot in your savings, nor do you have a home, and
Okay.
that's also a depreciating asset.
So what am I supposed to spend my credit card money on?
Right.
I'm
So
asking.
so if so right. So what you're saying is true. So like what you guys are doing, you're getting this things that you would purchase cash, but you're just using credit to buy it up front, and then
Uh huh.
you're waiting for it to post on the bill, right?
Okay.
And then you're paying off the bill.
Instantly, I cannot stress that enough.
Right, right. So you're paying off the bill as soon as you get the bill,
Right.
right? Or if you just have to within maybe one or two, uh, payments.
Mm-hmm.
But you're doing that so that you can build positive credit history, right? You're building on
Mm-hmm.
time payment history. So that's the number one. I wish I could like pull up that pie chart that I used to show you, but that's the number one thing that dings you on your credit, or helps your credit increase, is
Mm-hmm.
payment history. And they don't like, if you 80%,
Oh no,
you
that's
in the
terrible.
red,
Yeah, I'm finna say
red.
80. You
Right,
gotta be like 97.5 at least to be in the
exactly.
conversation. You missed that one
Right,
payment 17 years ago?
right. It's a
Denied.
whole thing. Right. Yeah, payment history is the A1.
Mm-hmm.
Is the number one thing
So
when it
even
comes
if
to
it's the
credit.
minimum, pay it.
Exactly.
So don't get down on
At least pay your
not paying the
minimum.
whole thing. So it might be a little interest, but hey, pay it, get in a better situation, but just pay something.
Right.
Don't
First
just
thing is think about it, think about it before you get it, because I'm gonna throw a little scripture in here again,
do it,
and it's
do it.
uh the Bible says the borrower is slave to the lender. And my ancestors came out of slavery a long time ago, and I just prefer not
That
to
sound like it was in
willing.
Leviticus.
Yeah, Deuteronomy.
It's right next to it. Leviticus is hey, judges, all them. Hey, it'll make you feel bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then he say it again in Proverbs. He just in case you didn't get it in the beginning, let me throw it right here
Do
in the
not
middle for
be
you.
a we
But
speaking of slaves, do not be a slave to the lender. Do not get that cash advance from Title Pawn USA.
right, yeah, both of those are dead. Like, don't even go their way. Title loans and cash advances. Yeah.
So
Uh,
so I'm gonna play that too. I'm playing devil's advocate all
okay.
day. I need the money. I want my money and I need it now. Is it better to just take that L?
It ain't your
Like,
money. What we talking about?
but they can give it to me though, right? That's what I'm
They can
saying.
give it to you, but it's not your money, because where are we getting this money from in this
We
devil
getting it from
advocate speak?
Title JUSA. No
So
Tech Talk USA.
those
Right.
that's 300% interest that you paying back on that.
That ain't real. That ain't real.
No, it's real. It's 300%. I've seen the
This is what
contracts.
I've heard. I'm
They
telling
brought
you,
them
I,
to
I,
me.
I feel like I'm the person listening right now. Like, no, what you mean
But
300%?
think about where the title loan and cash advance places are.
Yep.
Yeah,
We ain't gotta say
if
it.
you live in the Atlanta area, it's not they're not in Brookhaven or
No.
Buckhead. They're in Bankhead.
Yeah,
Okay, they're in East Point.
that's
Okay,
true. That's even like you know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. It's too
and
controversial.
East Point
But
is a nice area. It's just a lot of minorities live in that area. But
there's an amount of targeting, and this is what is important as well in the financial community.
yes, it is.
It's targeted towards people who they know who are gonna go out and spend frivolously. Not even gonna be specific because we all know it. I'm sure we've heard it, but it's like don't be a statistic. I
Yeah,
had to learn
but
the
see the
same
thing
thing.
is, right? But see the thing is, we don't know that we're spending frivolously because we don't know that we've been conditioned to spend
Or
frivolously.
just to want frivolous things.
Right, right. And in our mind, like it's the come up to
Mm-hmm.
purchase them new Jordans. Like
Mm-hmm.
I came up. Now you came up if you have a primary property, and then you got two extra rental properties earning you passive income. Then
Yep.
you came up.
It's just
You
like the
came
Jay-Z
up. You know what
example.
I'm
He
saying?
first got that money, had the big chain, now he wearing Walmart shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
But it's so crazy to me,
but
man.
he's a billionaire. But he's a billionaire.
Billionaire.
Let's talk about that. The first man in entertainment to be a billionaire.
And Kanye West is second one, ain't it?
first African American man.
Yeah, second. I think. You know what? Maybe entertainment
I don't
for
know.
sure. I don't know. You know, he just got like $3.3 billion. I heard something like that, right? He a
Who?
billionaire now. He came back from. He was in debt and everything.
Talking
Kanye
about
West.
Kanye?
Yeah, he probably took some of Jay-Z classes right there with him.
Some of his classes. I had to look that one up.
And to
You know, Kim.
even
You know, Kim a lawyer now. She don't put him on game.
probably, but to even give you an idea, I'm not sure how many people looked up Jay-Z's like wealth because they have it out there, and,
Yeah.
summarized.
Right.
But the most money he got wasn't even from his catalog.
No.
Most biggest hits in the world. It was I think it was a liquor company, all his liquor businesses and some clubs and stuff that he owned.
Hmm.
But the point is, he saw enough in himself to start that business young, even though he had the capital and stuff. But it's just it could be a small business you're starting. It could be a podcast. It could be a holistic life, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I just don't think that people think that they can start something
And think
because I
about,
ain't
but
got
think
no
about what you
money.
said though. But think about what you said. Every black billionaire, not I won't say every, but every black billionaire who is selling us something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Perry sells us movies.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z and Beyonce sells us music and like you said, what do he have clubs and
Yeah,
liquor
most of his,
brands
I think,
and
about
um
60%
um
came just from liquor sales.
Oprah sells us entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are all people, but think about who makes them. African American people make them billionaires. Our
Mm.
our buying power, our buying power is one of the most influential buying powers in the country as African Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we hone in on a certain product and we are like
The
loyal
market
product or to
knows
that person
that. Yep.
or to that brand, they flood money to that, right?
Wow.
So like in a positive way, like Tyler, who gives back to the community, dope. Jay-Z, who does certain initiatives for his social justice
Mm-hmm.
initiative with Meek Mill for criminal justice reform
Yep.
is fire. Like he's giving back to us, right? Why are we making people billionaires who aren't pouring back into our community? That's just on the African American community tip. I serve the
Yeah.
masses, but I'm speaking
No,
to us for like
I
two
feel like
seconds.
it has to go
So
back to that though. I'm sorry for all my white
yeah.
listeners, but it does, man. Or whoever. It just because we're two black males, right? But it goes back to that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's our duty to a certain sense to just remind people. Hold on, it's glitching. There you go. It reminds people to like where we come from, what we have to do to have that uh sustainable wealth for my
Right.
kids and the no Tact Talk juniors of the world, right? We have to
Right.
start thinking like this, and it's not too early or too late. I think
Especially during
my
this quarantine time, like use this
man
use this time
grind,
to work on
yeah,
your business
yo
plan.
craft.
Uh, Work on your craft, work on your business plan. Be smart, because
Mm-hmm.
these are different times. You know, people are going out of business right now. But work on your business plan so that when things rebound, you can ride the wave. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, one of my favorite stories I want to mention as well, because we've been going for like an hour and a half almost. We'll get
Oh.
towards. I think the last one was your family and assets. One of my favorite stories I wanted to mention was what's the dude that make KFC? Whatever his name is. I can't even think about it. Man, I had it in my head. But pretty much, he was the pioneer early on in fast food. So his
Mhm.
story is he was on a pension. He had like a decent, successful restaurant where he was living.
Mhm.
And then him and his wife, got married. It's like a nice little chicken joint. They both retired, just chilling. But they couldn't make ends meet. Okay,
Mhm.
so he had this like his famous chicken recipe in his restaurant. That was probably the best one that did well at his restaurant. He took this recipe, and I forgot. Let's just say it was I don't know. I forgot where he started at, but he went to his city and the state. Now this is like back in I don't even know like the 50s, 60s, maybe almost.
Right.
So he went around to each restaurant just trying to sell this recipe so he can make commission off of the recipe to make ends meet because their pension wasn't making it.
Mm.
This dude like 70 something, right? And back
Mhm.
in so it ain't like
Think
you can
about that. His pension wasn't making it.
And
So
bitch
he
wasn't
didn't.
making it.
So he didn't plan properly in
Oh yeah,
his youth.
yeah, terrible.
Okay, so that's shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Add it
Think about
in.
all you 20 and 30-year-olds. Think about your retirement plan now. Be
Yes.
proactive. Don't be reactive. Be proactive. I can't stress that enough. Be
Put
proactive.
some in that savings. It's some savings that you can't touch
Start
either.
somewhere. Start somewhere.
Yep. It don't matter if you say putting $10 a week under your in the shoebox. Work your way up to a bank. Work your way
And
up to this.
D DM me holistic underscore life
Oh, I'm gonna
planner.
put it all in there. I'm gonna let you. Yeah, I'm gonna let you say all that. Anyway, so I mean, some out of 200. Let's just say 200 restaurants, because not only was he not successful in doing this in his own
Mhm.
state, I think he went through the whole Southeast,
Mhm.
driving on a pension, old man, you know, to each restaurant. And mind you, he had to cook this in front of the owner of the restaurant. The
Mm.
grind it took. Long story short, he got to Kentucky, got to a guy, kind of a younger dude, had a restaurant, cooked it for me, loved it, put it on the thing, put on the menu. It was his best selling dish. And
Mhm.
so the guy being young and ambitious, hey, Mr. So and so, whatever his name was, let's call him what's the dude? What's the KFC guy name? The Colonel or something like that?
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, Mr. Sanders, sure, right? We gotta make this a business. This chicken is flying off the shelf, blah blah blah.
Right.
That's all the early stories and forms of KFC. That's how
Originate
KFC was
the
born.
origin, the
Origin story,
originate.
right?
Yeah, the origin story.
Now, this same guy, 70, probably 80 now, after all this stuff is done, he's the reason why we have Dave from Wendy's. He's the reason
Mhm.
why we have drive-throughs. He's the
Mhm.
reason. And then I think Dave even taught the owner of McDonald's all this stuff.
Mm.
They all white, but it's what it is.
Right.
Nothing
But
wrong with that.
they passed
They
down
passing it
knowledge.
to their brothers. And
They
back in the
passed down
day, in
knowledge.
that time, it was still a lot of racism in that time. So they're still passing it to their friends so they can make more money. I
Right.
think he even taught. So I think KFC or Taco Bell. Y'all have to fact check me on this, but they all intertwined. They even taught them about the value menu. So you
Uh-huh.
might have, what I'm saying, the dollar, McDouble or whatever,
Mhm.
and all that started from there. And so if it's, I wanted to point that out because it's never too late to start saving and start living a financially good lifestyle. And for
Right.
two, it's never too late to take a chance on yourself, which is important. You're never
Right.
too old to, oh, I can't, how am I going to start? You know what
Entrepreneurship.
I'm saying? Never told to take a chance on yourself,
Yes.
to be the entrepreneur. Using what this is just a small nuggets to kind of help you. Because, I mean, we could sit here and talk all day, but the knowledge that you
Yeah.
have, obviously, is worth paying for. And this is another reason why you're here, is to get that information and to be there for somebody. Because just like you did me, you're not helping me now. I mean, I can still call you for different things, but
Right.
it was a point in
And the thing is,
time.
I educate for no cost.
Now you better charge. Listen,
I make my money different. I
I
make
need
my
to
money.
charge. I need to charge
Yeah.
for this podcast.
If I hold if I hold your portfolio, that's how I make my money. If
Yeah.
I partner with you, right? So if I
Well,
hold
you
your
big time now,
portfolio,
man. You big time. You ain't
y-
doing one-on-ones no more. You working for businesses and things.
crazy. But
You
yeah, no,
know?
but that's one thing that's a passion for me. Like I volunteer to
Okay.
do financial literacy seminars because I want this knowledge to be in every person's mind. Especially our community, but
Yeah.
everyone. I want everyone to know I want everyone to be financial literate.
That's good. So, last but not least, why is protecting your family and assets so important in the financial realm?
Um, so when it comes, so like investment strategy, so like your retirement strategy that you needed to be thinking about now, 20 and 30-year-olds. Um, uh, when it comes to what you've accumulated in your lifespan, so your home, if you did have to get into some debt, right, that is a weight that will be passed down to your family if something forbid happens to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's irresponsible not to have some type of life insurance in place. Now that's a whole nother podcast in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
We
DM
could do a
me
part
at
two, bro.
holistic underscore underscore life, right? If you DM me if you DM me in holistic underscore life planner, I can have a dialogue with you around life insurance and the different ways that you, because a lot of people's thing is, well, I can't afford life insurance. Well, if you're young, you can get a term policy,
Yeah,
right?
it
And
gotta be
people are
way
like, well, I'm
cheaper when
just
you're
throwing,
young, right?
it is cheaper, but the devil's advocate question that people say, where I'm throwing money away. Well, no, there are certain companies, and some of the companies that I work with, you can take that term policy and you can convert it over into a permanent policy,
Mm-hmm.
when your income gets to that level, right? So
Yeah.
it's just about starting. That's the thing.
Just
Start
do
and you
something.
can start, not even,
Yeah.
you don't have to start by putting money in. Start by having the conversation with someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Start by having the conversation. Start by educating yourself. Start by becoming a better steward over what you've been blessed with, so that God will see fit to bless you with more.
Amen. And I will be an example for sure. You probably changed my life. You probably
Dang,
did,
bro.
bro. Because I know, bro. I was just gonna say,
I'm a counselor. I drop
ah,
a tear. I
I
drop a third.
know
I
you,
drop a
man. I know
third
you,
tear
bro.
now.
No, I'm gonna tell you because I knew how important it was, and I'm gonna tell you, I called this man probably 3 weeks straight about everything I had going on: credit cards, finances, debt, buying this. I still call up sometimes. Hey, what's the thing you do? Like even like you get your free credit report once a year. Just those simple things that should already be a part of your life that people just don't know, right?
Right,
And so they don't want to know, but they don't know how to know because it just seems like getting financial information is like a secret. It's like this club you got
right,
to be in to just know all the ins
right.
and outs, right? The good
It's
old boy
only
club.
a secret. It's only secret if your family, because it's not something that's taught in school. It's only a
Yeah.
secret because it's oral history.
Mm-hmm.
It's oral education that has to be passed down in familially from your
Yeah.
from your family, right? So if your family has never been in a position to where they needed financial
Or
education,
to have the big,
or been
yeah.
afforded to have financial education, you won't know unless you go find out yourself, or if you feel like you need to go find out yourself,
So
right?
our
You don't know
generation,
that you don't know.
yeah, our generation has to be that beginning.
Right,
I know a lot because my dad grinded it out. He worked at a steel mill, held it down for the family, doing his thing. My mom, she's working for on the city, ain't put a business out there, but she working, making the money right now. He's retired. He has property and stuff too. So that's already a plug in itself, him having that. So me and my brother can
right,
see, okay, now we can get property. Okay, now we can go buy a
right,
house or rent it out or flip a house, right?
right,
We all see our stuff that he saw, but everybody doesn't have that. And even still,
right.
learning all the stuff that I learned, like, man, if only my dad would have just
Papa
gave me this.
coats.
Yeah, right. But I,
Yeah,
I feel like it's our generation's job to start and to
yeah.
build and to
It's the
teach.
information age. Yeah,
Start, build, and teach.
yeah.
Give back. Not just don't. You get a lot of money. You're a rapper. Teach somebody. You paid for their house, but he still know how to maintain it. I don't know if you ever seen what's that show? Move That Bus. Uh,
Right.
what I'm talking about, one on ABC. They have fix
Yeah,
the
I
whole
know this
house and
time
everything.
extreme
They
house
yeah,
makeover or something
makeover.
like
They
that.
came out with something maybe like 5 or 10 years later talking about the aftermath of extreme makeover because people didn't know how to spend that
Mm.
money. And they got this 5 bedroom, four bath house, all these bills accruing, mortgage problems, can't afford this
Don't
because
know that they got to pay the property taxes, and that the property taxes will
listen,
increase because your property value increase.
right,
So
you
can
got
you
this
even
super
pay the
bomb
property
house
taxes?
and don't even know how to
Can you even
maintain
pay
it.
the Can you afford the property taxes
And
though?
you catching
And
it
if you
every
don't,
year during tax time, wonder why you trying to get extensions to October.
and they auction off your property if you don't pay your property taxes. The
And it goes
state will
straight back
auction.
to the bank.
No. It goes to
I'm
whoever
saying the
pays of
bank
your.
does it. The bank does it, right?
Mm-mm.
They
No,
go,
that's
so they
that's that
can't pay
that's if
it.
you foreclose. That's if you foreclose. That's
Okay,
if you
was
foreclose.
gotcha. Please tell
Yeah.
me something.
No, you
No.
if you foreclose on your mortgage, then whoever ends up paying the bank ends up owning the property, because the bank owns the property until you pay off your mortgage.
Mm.
When it comes to property taxes, if you get behind on your property taxes, so you have like families who own property that their parents own, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody forgets every year for some reason, even though it comes in the mail, to pay the property property taxes. Eventually, the state will seize the property and sell it to people who are willing to pay up the back property taxes, and then they'll own the property.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah,
All right. Anything else?
it's just so much. Like it's so much.
It is. I was trying to hit all the hot points, man. I don't want to
No,
keep y'all here
you
all
did.
day.
You did. No, you good. I just start investing. Start say first of all. Start tithing. Let's start there. Start tithing. That's just my opinion. He blesses you when you bless him. Start saving.
Mm-hmm.
Start investing, and then protect. Start protecting what you have. And once again, you can hit me at holistic_life planner.
We're gonna let you say all that in a second. No, as you know, we always end with a scripture on here on No Tech Talk.
Yes, sir.
And each scripture is perfectly tailored for the conversation and my current guest, which is Holistic Life. The Jarvis under the second. I'm just playing. Now, my homeboy, my brother, of course it's about money, right? But I wanted to come out of First
Right.
Timothy, 6th chapter.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Verse 10. Coming
Okay.
from the English Standard Version on the
Mm.
YouVersion app. That's the best one.
Come on.
ESV, RSV. I
Come
don't know,
on.
whatever.
Come on, Bishop.
No. Anyway, so no, it says,
Inside joke.
right, for the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. That's why I like this particular version, because we already heard this, right? So it says, for
Right.
the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced
Right.
themselves with many pangs.
Mm.
Pangs. Unless y'all looked it up for yourself to be homework. For me, I'll explain it and I'll have you explain it, and then you can give all the little plugs, which will be in the description below. Obviously, the first sentence, the love of money is a tool. Money's awesome. It's cool. But you have to figure out your why. We all know money could be evil. Like Biggie said, more money, more problems. And I didn't understand that in the beginning. Because how could you have more money but have more problems? Right? It's because you get more stuff. You're leveling yourself up. So if you want a 24 karat gold toilet, got all this money, what's the maintenance on said toilet, right? I'm just giving you an example.
Right.
You want a Lamborghini,
Right.
an oil change probably go run you a good 10 grand. You know what I'm saying? The tires, even if you want a regular Jeep, the tires on that thing, unreal.
Yeah.
You know? And so I kind of started to understand. But when you crave it, so money is definitely necessary. It's a tool, it's something we use to buy things and to have a better way of life. When you want money for the wrong things, then it becomes that evil, because what will you do for that money? How will that money affect you? You look like a crackhead or something, stealing from their mama to try to get the crack. Like, you need that money for a means to an end, right?
Right.
And so you think about the worst situation, and like you said, and it's in trusting in God, it's paying your tithes, it's in believing that He got you. That when you make that sacrifice and show your honor to Him, because that's all it is tithing. It's making that sacrifice and saying, "Hey, God, I know you got me. I'm showing my glory, that honor to you, and then He will bless you tenfold." And that's what that means for me. Or lest you fall, or lest you in debt, or less blah 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 blah. Because I think a lot of these things we talking about spiritually as well. Living a spiritual lifestyle and living a financial lifestyle are kind of the same. And I say for one statement is because a lot of stuff is self-inflicted. People always say the devil made me do it, or if I wasn't in this situation, a lot of stuff is self-inflicted. And I even, I ain't gonna use myself example in this one, but the point is, God thought it was about someone that's gonna might miss me. No, but you know what I'm saying? But we mess ourselves up, right? And so like you knew what was gonna happen if you did this, that, and the third, and now you're here, and now you're in this bad situation. That could be spiritually, or that could be financially.
Or you didn't know, and because you didn't get into the word on the spiritual side, and on the financial side, you didn't educate yourself.
Boom. There you go. All right. So what does that mean to you?
I'm gonna talk about it on the love of money side, whereas when it's talking about loving money and being ruled by money. And so when you're loving money and being ruled by money, you're you're craving not just to have it, but to have the things that it buys. And so I think that's when you get into those issues of being in debt, like you said, and not realizing that money is a tool, and it does, and in my opinion, it doesn't belong to you in the first place. And
Mm-hmm.
when you can see that you're just here to steward it properly, it will serve you well. And that's really what you want. You really want your money to be able to serve you well. You don't want to be serving the money.
Mm. Hey,
Let your money serve you. Don't
drops
serve the
bombs.
money.
That's what's up. Now, give everybody the social media websites and all that stuff.
Once again, it's gonna be DM me. I love to answer questions. I love that this dialogue. It's
For
one
all
of
your
my favorite
financial
things.
needs, DM Jarvis.
Yeah, it's gonna be holistic. So that's gonna be HOLISTIC financial planner, all together. Financial and planner is all together. Okay, holistic underscore financial planner. And I came up with holistic because I wanted people to feel whole and complete when they got
Mm-hmm.
done speaking with me. And we're not just going to pinpoint one thing. We're going to have a full conversation and talk about the whole picture and put these puzzle pieces together so that, we can hang up this financial picture, above
That's what's
above
up.
above your fireplace, and you know what you're aiming towards, right? So we
That's
just
what's
want
up.
clarity, and we want you to be, full. So that's going to be, I'm sorry, that's holistic underscore life planner. So that's holistic
I'm gonna put it in the
HOLISTIC
description.
underscore life planner.
It's gonna be in the description.
Have
Everybody
a
like, what?
whole life. Holistic underscore life planner. Holistic underscore life
Man,
planner.
I appreciate you for dropping this knowledge. This is definitely a paid service that you're providing. The point is, you put in the work and the time and the man hours to learn your craft, and you still continuing on it. I applaud you. You doing the thing. You're a prime example of what it looks like to be a man of God. And I appreciate you, bro, for coming on and just letting everybody know kind of the things that you can do to be financially frugal and successful, and just for spreading that knowledge, man. I appreciate you.
No
With
doubt.
that being said, again, my shameless plug, the website is up. NoTactTalk.com is up. You can go there and check it out, see a couple pictures of me and
Listen to every
everything.
episode.
Every episode, check us out.
It's fire.
If you like to support the podcast as well, there's a donate. There's a donate button on there, and you can kind of show love to promote future podcasts, better microphones, better things like that to keep giving you good information. Not only on the spiritual sense, financial. You guys heard from, entrepreneurs already, authors already. I got a lot of people coming. I'm doing Patrick probably next week.
Oh
Y'all
yeah,
gonna,
that's good.
y'all gonna
Home
figure
ownership.
out how to buy a house from start to finish.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
he's a beast.
appreciate y'all. This has been another episode of No Tech Talk. Peace.
Peace.